Thank you, God.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Amen. In the Gospel according to Luke, chapter 17, verse 11, and ending at verse 19. The Gospel according to Luke, chapter 17. Verse 11.
Amen.
Now on his way to Jerusalem, Jesus traveled along the border between Samaria and Galilee. As he was going into a village, 10 men who had leprosy met him. They stood at a distance and called out in a loud voice, Jesus, Master, have mercy on us. When he saw them, he said, go, show yourself to the priests. And as they went, they were cleansed. One of them, when he saw he was healed, came back praising God in a loud voice.
Yes, sir.
He threw himself at Jesus' feet and thanked him. And he was a Samaritan. Jesus asked, were not all 10 cleansed? Where are the other 9?
Come on now.
Has no one returned to give God or to give praise to God except this foreigner, this Samaritan? Then he said to him, rise, go. Your faith has made you whole or well. Turn to your neighbor and say, the preacher want to talk about grace, gratitude, and glory.
Amen.
Grace, gratitude, and glory.
Amen. Winning combination.
I don't know if it's just me, but it appears that we are living in times when gratitude, grace, and the proper applying of glory is taking a back seat to human entitlement, ingratitude, selfishness, and self-centeredness. I don't know, it may just be me, but it appears that thank you is no longer a common word, but a rare expression. I don't know, but maybe it's just me. Maybe I live in the wrong part of the country. Maybe I'm connected to some different kind of people, but Pastor Hightower, I find it rare that we find people that are really appreciative when the Lord or other folk do something for them. And maybe me, Sister Mary, that it is every now and then I'm feeling like I'm living in some twilight zone, some distant reality of life, because the world I grew up in is so different than the world that I live in now. Things that was common and typical of people to do, to express and to show, is almost like it's obsolete. And the strange part, it is not the young people who are not, it's the old folk who have forgotten. It's those who should have transferred it, that didn't transfer it because they lost it. They refiled it in another file where it's no longer even used by those who should have trained and taught and conveyed it to other folk, to this generation, it is like obsolete, almost as if people have an obligation to do and to show you and to give to you and allow you to have things that you didn't even earn, you didn't pay for, it wasn't yours, but just out of the kindness of their own heart, they decided to either give it to you, share it with you, pour it into you, and for some reason, for some strange reason, I hear folk using personal pronoun for things that belongs to others. That's how I stop my children in their footsteps.
Amen. Thank you, Lord.
When they say things like, Daddy, where my money?
Yeah.
I look around and I suggest to them that if it's your money, it should be in your pocket. If it's your money, then somebody should have signed your name to a check. You cashed it and you put it in your pocket, and so therefore you distribute it as if, because if it's yours.
Yes, sir.
If it's yours, then that means you earned it, you worked for it, you deserve it, they gave it to you. If it's yours, that means you put the time in, you put the effort in. But if you are asking me for money that I have that you would like for me to give you, then you need to understand it's not your money.
Come on. Yeah. Come on.
But it's mine.
Yeah.
If I could, my Pastor West used to tell a story. He's been telling it since I was a young teenager there. Matter of fact, I can remember the experience and the time when it happened. That when his son, Ralph West Jr., was riding with them on one of those days that him, Ralph, and Raphael went to go get ice cream from McDonald's. And they got ice cream, they got fries. Pastor West tells the story that on that day that he asked him that McDonald's fries, he wasn't going to eat them, trying to be healthy, but it was something about the smell of that grease in them fries that told him he wanted some. Now he ordered 2 big fries, more than what they needed, but he left them in their bag. And while driving, he asked Ralph Jr., please give me some of those fries. He grabbed his bag and said, no, these my fries. Pastor West commenced to do what I probably would have done. He said he reached and grabbed the whole bag and now said to him, where are your fries? I paid for the fries. I got put you in my car, drove you to McDonald's, went up to the window, paid the tender with my money, and I ordered extra fries so that I can have some. And here you are trying to take them all, because that's kind of the spirit that we live in. That no matter who's giving us or supported us or gave us something, it's us who, when once it touch our hand, we feel like it's ours. We live in a world of entitlement. People that you turn around, you help, they act like you had to help them. Get out of your bed all time of night, call you as if, and then when you do it, act like as if you didn't do anything.
That's right.
Forget about the seasons when he didn't have it.
My God. My.
And you was in their corner.
Come on.
Forget about the seasons that when they was trying to crawl, you the one walk for them so they can get to the destination. Forget about the season that when they didn't know how to walk, it was you that held them up.
My Lord.
Then they get grown and act as if you haven't done anything for them. And the folk that are unfamiliar to them, they allow them to make advice and give them advice. But the one that since they was babies, that been holding them and rocking them, and when we talk about the mother been breastfeeding and getting by, the daddy been buying Similac, the one been buying Pampers, the one that been changing your diaper, the one that took care of you when nobody else will. When you got sick with the chicken pox and the measles, it was them that was in that corner. When you was hungry and went out, it was them that was on their side. Nobody's perfect. Nobody has a reason. And some people, I see the reason why they show less gratitude, because they try to find something that you did or some issue that you had while they was, listen here, nobody ain't perfect. Matter of fact, the one that's suggesting it, you're not perfect. There's no reason for you to ever be ungrateful for the people that God has used in your life.
That's good.
Maybe me.
My.
I may leave Brother Shannon on a different block than everybody else.
Yes, sir.
But the tune of ingratitude
My God.
seems to be are coming no plague
My.
by too many people.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Not only in gratitude,
My.
but folk have a way of thinking that they've arrived by their own goodness.
My God. My God. My
Too
God.
many of us are giving improper glory to things and people
Lord Jesus.
that did not bring you.
My God.
Living in an age now, you got so many want to assume that I made it because I was strong.
My God.
My.
Come on.
But the truth of the matter, if you're strong now, you ain't always been.
That's right.
Too many of us are praising because I got a little education now. I'm smarter than I used to be. But your degree couldn't even help you if it wasn't for God strengthening you.
Thank you, God.
That's too many of us have given credits to you arriving in places with the qualified training and the qualified degree, but oftentimes what you didn't see was the resume before yours was more qualified than yours, but some kind of way in a great selection, God chose yours even though it was less.
Thank you.
What you didn't see was the barrage of people. What you didn't see was the contemplating of the person that turned it down before you got there so God can make it available to you. And here you are, standing in the door of opportunity, bragging about your ability, bragging about your education, bragging about a degree, bragging about your mind, bragging about your connect, your social connect, your fraternal connect. And if you would have known that most of your fraternal brothers would have got ahead of you if they could have, but it was something about the grace of God that got you in front of them. Yeah. The truth of the matter is that you and I must learn how to appropriate, give grace, and give glory to the one that really deserves it. Too many of us. Too many of us. I mean, in this introduction, I've seen two athletes at the peak of their career denounce God and the goodness of God. I remember Mike Tyson, and I used to like young Mike, 19-year-old first champion. I used to like Mike Tyson, the struggle that he had to get where he was. I can identify growing up in the inner city, trying to make it, using everything you have to come up, knowing that trying to be the best that you can. And I'll never forget that one night Sally Jeffrey Raphael asked Mike Tyson, well, the Lord really been good to you. Mike Tyson says, I don't believe in that stuff.
My.
God ain't been good to me. I've gotten this with sweat and blood. That day I tuned off Mike Tyson as being a good champ. Because there ain't no way in the world you raised up in where he was raised. And many times you shouldn't, Castamata should have left you. An Italian man embracing a black one, that ain't common.
Amen.
I heard. Last one was the running back for Aaron Foster for the Texans. He interviewed him, and Aaron Foster gonna declare he didn't believe in God. Well, the next about summertime here, after that confession, that woman made public the scandal. You're gonna need God. And then after that, right behind that, he got hurt. Then right after that, he got hurt again. Then right after that, he got cut. Then right after that, he got traded. And then right after that, he retired. And all because you think it was with you, and God will teach you, when you leave me, you're gonna need me again. Let me bring you right here. I want to bring you right here because that's 10 lepers. The text says that Jesus is in between Galilee and Samaria. Galilee is where the God people is. That's where the Jews are. That's where, those that God has elected, those that God that called. That's where they lived. That was a people that had the name that was Abraham's seed lived. And somewhere, but then that was the Samaritan, that they had a little mix of God people and a little mix of world people in them. And because of that, the God people decided they didn't want to associate with them as if they was better, but all the time they were still of the same kind. They were still of the same set. But watch it, but somewhere in between God's people, yeah, and in between some other folk,
All right.
that's where Jesus is.
Amen.
My Lord.
Can I drop a parenthetic note there?
Yes, sir.
Now you and I got to learn that God is never on either side.
Amen.
He's always in between the both,
My mama.
trying to bring us towards Him.
Amen.
Matter of fact, that's where we all are with God.
Amen.
Your God is in between, and you're trying to get to where He is.
My God.
Amen.
But not just those who don't know Him, but I discovered those that's supposed to know Him is trying to get to Him as well. Because we're not as close as we think, and as we're not as good as we think we are.
All right, Pastor.
Matter of fact, sometimes the folk that we consider on the other side is better than us, or better than those that's supposed to be on God's side. Sometimes it's a folk that you least suspect that is closer to God than you think. Sometimes God is on His way to some folk that you left. God is on His way to some folk that you forgot about. God is on His way to some folk that you wrote off. God is on His way to some folk that you say didn't qualify, didn't measure up, didn't meet up. The ones you wrote off that you say can't nothing be done for them or with them because they just ain't there. And the good news is, I thank God that while you're walking away and you're leaving, God is always in between, on His way, right where I am, right where we are, right where we're dealing with. God is always in between. If He haven't made it to you yet, I just want you to know He's on His way. And that's the good news for you and I, that even though you may not be in Galilee, but if you're in Samaria, don't fret. God is on His way. If it have not passed, that's what we used to sing in the church. Oh, you'll pass me not, oh Jim the Savior. Why on others thou art?
Yes, sir.
He was on His way.
Amen. Amen.
He was leaving Galilee,
My mama.
on His way to Samaria. I wish I could theologically pin that in terms of what that meant for the gospel. That He was leaving those who had rejected the opportunity of having Him,
Amen.
and moving
Amen.
towards those that really recognized they needed Him.
Yeah.
That's where God is always leaving those that think they're good enough, leaving those that think they got it, leaving those that think they well, leaving those that think they got it together, thinking they're sufficient. He always walking from there on His way to those that know that they need Him and can make it. That's the good news. That's the good news in the text, Brother Al, that when God comes, He comes everywhere.
Amen.
He comes to all people.
Amen.
And
Amen.
the text says that while He was on His way, He passed by a certain village. Now I want you to know that in the suggestion that this was a village that possibly housed the lepers.
Mama.
You know what leprosy was, right?
Yeah.
It was the skin disease that had caused bumps and bumps to fuse out of the skin and out of the head and all over them, and their skin would become rotten and it would actually just fall off. While they was walking, it would fall off. It was contagious because leprosy could be spread by one to another, and because of that, they was commanded by Moses in Leviticus chapter 14 to be put in their own camp. They was commanded by Moses to be taken from among the people. They were commanded by Moses to rent their garments and to shave their heads and to cover their mouths. And the crowd, whenever someone got near leprosy, leopard. Can you imagine them? They had to rent their clothes. I started asking myself in the text, I started asking, why is it that we'd have them to rent their clothes? Because anytime somebody see anybody with torn clothes, it caused you to pay attention. And what the intent was in terms of the condition that they had, they wanted everybody everybody to know that you're about to approach a leper. Don't deal with them. Stay away from them. Leave them by themselves. Don't touch them. Don't communicate with them. And so therefore, when you saw a leper, you always saw a leper with rented clothes, just torn old clothes, look like somebody had just been in a fight somewhere, ripped clothes, rented clothes. And so therefore, before you even get to them, you can tell by identification of the fact that they got torn clothes, therefore revealing part of their skin so somebody can see what's underneath. Somebody in here, you're going to miss that. They would rip their clothes so that you can see the condition of their skin. They would rip their clothes so that they couldn't hide it, that they couldn't mask it, that they could not contain and keep that which they had. They wanted everybody to know and make them a public example and a public humiliation, as if to say to you, you'll touch me not. You got the cooties. I don't need to be next to you. I don't need to have anything to do with you because you got something wrong with you.
Come on.
Then it would
Teach, Pastor.
cut the hair from the head. Take away every bit of the attraction that it possibly has, the way they can cover, the way they can actually see that underneath their head that there was actually pus bumps and balls that was oozing out of them.
Mama.
And then it would cause them to put their hand over their mouth and cover their mouth and cry out, leprosy, leprosy, leopard approaching, leopard is here. And it cost them. And the only way they got food was because other folk would go and they would throw it to them. Never could get it served up on a plate because nobody could ever come near them. Never had the courtesy of sitting down with family and because no one could come near them. And therefore they was all placed in a village, and there they were all in the same condition and nobody able to help each other because all of them have the same situation. All of them is in the same predicament. And there was 10 that got together, those 10 that got together and said, though I live here, I'm not going to stay here. Can I help you this morning in here? That's part of the thing in terms of the reason why no matter what your condition is, that there's a possibility that if you have enough faith that you can overcome the condition that you're living with. Can I help you in here in terms of this? And this is one of the things that blew my mind when I was talking to the Holy Ghost about the text. I was talking to the Holy Ghost about the text, and the Holy Ghost says to me, he says, Pastor Lee, God gives us conditions so that he can teach us about grace, and he can teach us about gratitude, and he can teach us about giving him glory. So somebody missed this in here that watch this, that if Jesus is who we say he is, and that he's on divine plan and he's on divine navigation from the Father, because he said my will is to do the will of the Father. So I never go nowhere where the Father had not sent me. I never do anything that the Father has not sent me to do. Matter of fact, Jesus says, I and my Father is one. And therefore, because he tells me to do a thing, that's what I do. And so if Jesus was in between Galilee and Samaria and he heard these 10 men, then he only stopped because it was in the Father's will. And then therefore I made this Pastor Hightower, then if it was in the Father's will for him to stop, then it's very possible in the Father's will was for those men to have leprosy so that he can teach them something about grace, and so he can teach them something about gratitude, and he can teach them something about giving him glory. It's right there in the text, because as the text unfolds, now what appears to be a coincidentally cry out can seem to more like a navigated principle so that it can teach us today in the gospel that there was 10 men that had leprosy and they got healed, but 9 didn't come back to tell the Lord thank you. Only 1 came back and gave him glory. And so therefore I'm under the suspicion that God gives us conditions so we can learn about grace.
Thank you, dear God.
Is there anybody in here that when you really look at your life, that you really know that you made it this far by the grace of God? Is there anybody in this here that when you really look at your life, that you realize you made it this far because God's been good to you? Is there anybody in here that really would tell and testify, I got myself in some stuff that if it had not been for the grace of God? Is there anybody in here? I'm taking the room. There's anybody in here that when you add it up to the resume, you should have been hired for the job? Is there anybody in here showing up with strikes against you? You not only been an ex-offender, you just been an ex. You've been ex-everything. You've been ex-liar, ex-gambler, ex-dope, you've been ex all over. But somebody said something like, but I want to give you a chance. Because God gives you and I conditions so he can teach us about grace. grace. Some of the things you went through is because God put it on you so that you couldn't get it off you. So because His grace can help you. That's first lesson in the text, Brother Cal. That these men had called on God and it was about to learn something about the grace of God. It's wonderful how you learned something, Sister Mary, about God's grace. That when you've been rejected by everybody, when everybody else treated you like you was a bad habit, like everybody's been feeding you out a long hand spoon, when everybody act as if they don't know the predicament that you've been through, everybody acting like they don't know you now, everybody acting like as if they never been through what you've been through, and because it's your season now, they act like they don't know your number. Everybody, they don't call you anymore, they don't check on you anymore, they don't check it. Yeah, somebody in here know it, and God allowed it so He can teach you something about grace. The text says that these men come out of that village, 10 of them, crying with a loud voice, but keeping their distance. I sat there and I heard it, Reverend McGee, when I heard him say, they cried aloud, but they kept their distance.
Amen.
Forgive me, church, but it sounds like Sunday morning church morning.
Wow.
Loud cries, but long distance connection. And too many of us are crying aloud to God, but we're not coming close enough to God to experience His grace. And the reason you're doing it is because of the condition you're in. Can I help you? Can I help you? Some of us are crying loud, but we are keeping our distance because of the condition that you're in. Can I help you out in terms of when it comes to us? That you and I never have to cry loud and keep distance, because God is always near when you want to be far. It does not matter how loud you praise. That if you don't come near God, then you can't experience the blessing. See, that's it. They cried aloud, but they kept their distance. But Jesus bridged the gap. Can I say that one more time? That sounds like the gospel. That sounds like the good news. Because of the condition that they was in, they cried aloud, kept their distance, but because He's Jesus and His name means save His people. It means that I come to save, I come to deliver, I come to heal, I come to change your condition. And the good news is that when we cry loud and keep our distance, the good news about the grace of God is Jesus bridged the gap. Somebody in here ought to give God some praise right now, because you know that it wasn't because you were so good, it's not because you got it together, but it's because Jesus bridged the gap. Jesus made the connection. Jesus paid for your sins. Jesus hung on your cross. Jesus took your nails. Jesus wore your crown. Jesus took your beating. Jesus died your death. And the good news is because He did that for me, He bridged the gap. And I no longer have the condition of sin that I once had. Yes, I've been forgiven. Yes, I've been healed. Yes, I've been set free. Yes, the Lord made a way. Yes, He bridged the gap. Yes, He came near. Yeah, thank you, God. Max Lucado, one of my favorite books as a collegiate student. God came near. No matter where I was at a limp leg like Joseph, like Jacob. God came near. I was hanging in the balance in the pits of life like Joseph, but God came near. I was on my way to a dying hell, but God came near. And that's the good news here. As we cry loud, keep our distance, God bridged the gap by sending His only begotten Son, backdoor divinity, to rescue backdoor people. Yeah, thank you, God. I thank God for bridging the gap. I thank God for making a way out of no way. I thank God that He showed up when everybody left me. I thank God. Text it. He'll teach you. Yes! Y'all forgive me for that. When I just started about the time. Yeah! When nobody really wanted me. But